You are now checked in to Stand Up New York Labs. Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys, this is Kurt Metzger and Philly Girl for Harry's Razors. Philly Girl, shaving has gotten very expensive, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's like the most expensive thing on my radar.
So what do you do to combat that? I go to Harry's Razors. Well, mainly because they gave me a free razor. But even if they didn't, I would use them because it's $15 for a month of shaving. Have you ever heard of a deal like that, Philly Girl?
One time when I was going to a Chinese store, they gave me 2 nail and laters for 5 cents, and I had never gotten that before. So, yeah, that was a deal.
Yeah, we're talking Chinese store now and later's level deal on Harry's Razors. Harry's bought a German razor factory, which I didn't even know was such a thing, and they make quality razors. And mine, I'm still using. And it doesn't have all hair in it or nothing. I don't even know how they did that. But it's $15 a month. Use the promo code RACEWARS. You get it for $10 a month. You get a razor, replacement blades, lotions, and shaving creams all together. It's a lot cheaper than buying shaving cream. Harry'sRazors.com, RaceWars promo code. The end.
Race Wars.
I know you're like, how could a white man be allowed to do that?
You can say the word only in the confines of this podcast. It's what we do, baby! Yeah!
You're out of your fucking mind, dude.
I have the power! With Kurt Metzger and Sherrod.
I wanted to still, because I don't have Sherrod here today, so I wanted to still play his song he insists is our song, Hatem. I'm here with, by the way, Spare Sherrod Hatem Gabir. How do I say your last name?
Galper.
Galper?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Galper.
Gopper.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Hatem Gopper.
Yeah.
Who's been on before? He was on the very first serious episode of the show.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah, and Sherrod's doing a pilot right now with Christian Finnegan. You might know from Best Week Ever or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, so
he
they're
was in the
doing-
Chappelle show too.
Yeah, he was the one in Mad Real World.
Yes.
Christian was the one that they fucked his girlfriend and then raped him and stabbed his dad.
And killed her dad. Yeah.
For looking at him.
It was pretty funny.
And also, quick shout out to Shelly, the Uber driver who might be listening right now, because I was talking to her on the way here. She's a nice black girl who's into metaphysics. And she kept saying African American, but I get it because it's a formal. She don't know me, so I get how you say it. But I imagine if we know each other better, we could drop that shit, right? I don't know. And here's the other thing I gotta do is out Sherrod, which is the worst, dude. It's not like
Sherrod?
Yeah, because we did a bonus episode Monday with Frank Conniff from Mystery Science Theater 3000. Did you used to watch that show?
Yeah.
He was TV's Frank, that dude with the white that looks like Superman's dad. And he's funny as shit. But it's just me and a white dude and then a pinker dude just staring at each other a little bit until Sherrod got there to put some kind of brown energy into it. I mean, it was amazing.
It was funny. Yeah.
If I had known him, like I know you, so there's it's a little easier off the top. But I just didn't know him like that.
Yeah, so I didn't know what to talk about and all that.
Yeah, and it's like I'm at half power right now because I have the power I usually do on the show was strictly dependent on Sherrod being here. So I'm without my He-Man powers right now.
Sherrod is with us with Spirit.
Yeah, I think he's with his spirit. He's probably gonna be mad I cut this song off, but it was the sweetest. But I will say this for Sherrod, most of the music he'll have on here, that's really the only one that I'm just like not that into. I don't even hate the song. I'm just like, I'm fine with it. But most of his shit I like. In fact, I go get it on iTunes a lot of the time. So I'm not even taking away from him.
Oh, really? So he picks the music?
Yeah. I don't know about music, dude.
Yeah.
I'm the Hulk of this, and he's more of a Nick Fury. And they put me in front of the fucking computer screen today, which is probably not good.
We'll see.
Because we're going to be filling this a lot of calls. So here's what we got.
We
got GT Tommy's here, luckily. Here's the remaining team, because Erin's gone.
What?
Erin from Jezebel, the feminist blog. She's usually here. And she has to write a 2,000-word article about IUDs tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and blow it in her. Now what? Now what do you write after that? There's not 2,000 words about that. Dump one in her. The end. She should just hand it a title. That's my advice, and do the show. Because I can't think of a single other thing to think about with IUDs. So she's not here. And then we got Dave Weiss, who was on our bonus episode. Now, Dave came in. We didn't have Caitlin doing the news, right? And then luckily, Dave came in. We just noticed him in the back. Do you know Dave's show, Inside the Rabbit Hole?
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. It's not a porn.
Okay. No, it's not?
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
It's about conspiracies.
Yeah.
Independent research?
Yes, independent research, or I guess Arab science, as Hatem would call it.
I'm here to...
Settled Arab science.
This is the Jew here to defend the Arabs, because that's my goal
you know
here
what,
today.
Dave, that is what's great about Jews. Oh, let Nang in, will you? This is what's so great about Jews. You could find a Jew for anything, right? Like if you whatever, you want to somebody do your taxes, there's a Jew for that. Let's say you hate Jews. There's a Jew for that. They literally
they love business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how you don't want Jews in your. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would never live somewhere without Jews. And definitely, you got to have. Here's what you got to have. Okay, these are my pillars of civilization.
It's called heaven.
Jews, queers, and a Chinatown are the pillars of civilization.
Yeah.
And I would never live somewhere. And by Chinatown, I mean just something
Chinese.
like a. No, it doesn't have to be Chinese, but just some foreign exotic something that's not usually there that they have their area you could buy bootlegs from.
Yeah.
But just something to bring something life into it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Chinese though are the best. I think there's no peace in the Middle East because there's no Chinese in the Middle East.
Really?
Yeah, I really believe that.
All right. Well, let me just.
It's
first
good
of
that
all,
you like the Chinese, because they're going to be taking over soon.
We'll see. Hey, so Christine Nangel's here. Do you know Christine?
No.
Hatem?
Hi.
Tommy, do you know Christine? She writes with me on Inside Amy Schumer.
Hello,
Also
man.
Caitlin's doing the news now. We have
there's a lady.
we have
Hi.
almost a full team. So so Nagel, and she's also was on Kroll's show, and this is my favorite sketch from Kroll's show that you were in. Was it called Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So it's just god awful Pennsylvania accents, the whole fucking sketch. It's really just to make fun of the accents of these god awful potato people. And then they brought in, the last one was like Baltimore they brought in, right? Wasn't Neil Casey the Baltimore one?
Yeah.
And he had Honus Wagner, Prion, Cologne.
Honus Wagner, Priyan, Cologne. And we're fighting very hard in the writer's room, or at least I was. I wanted the slogan to be Honus Wagner, Priyan, Cologne, where the onus is on you to smell great.
There's nothing like a pure Philly. And if Karen was here, she does the same. I didn't know she was trash. My girlfriend,
Yeah.
I heard you're a good drawer. So I wanted Christine to come on for the longest time to just be Philly girl. But then I don't want to just be like, oh, we have a special
I'm
guest
from Philly.
girl.
Yeah.
Goldstein, you're from Philly?
Go down the mall.
That's Christine. That's
Yeah.
Andrew Goldstein.
Go down Franklin Mills.
Oh, yeah, and they got to go up Franklin Mills, depending on where you're living.
Go up the mall.
Yeah.
How you's doing?
Yeah.
How you's making out?
So if we get into anything serious, I just want you to both say whatever your views are. In a
You want
thick,
Philly girl to show up.
Yeah, I want, but you can say whatever Christine wants, but I want it to be.
No, I heard you talking about the Chinese, and I love the Chinese store. You can get a now. No, I'm serious. You can get a now and later for a nickel. You can go in and be like, I just want one now and later, and they'll be like, here you go. And I think that's great for the Chinese stores.
See, that's the insight that Philly girl brings
I like that.
to the Chinese situation. But I don't think they're going to take over because I don't believe it. They said about the Japanese too. I don't see them taking over. Fuck, Tom Cruise was their last samurai. So where are they now?
Yeah,
But they helped us get that Martian off of Mars.
Oh, I didn't see that movie. Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is the spoiler that he gets off Mars, or the
Yeah.
spoiler that the Chinese help him?
I was just sure he would die on Mars. That movie holds no interest for me whatsoever.
That's good.
That sounds
Why?
like a good movie.
Oh, okay. And Christina, I should let you know. Dave feels that not only have we never been to space of any kind, there's no satellites, and also, what is it? It's a dome?
There's no planets are not what you think they are, and the
What
Earth,
are they? What are they?
You know what? All we can see is lights. All the pictures that we've ever seen from NASA, they're all fake. Every single one of them. NASA even admits most of them are fake. If you look at the new picture of Pluto, there's a outline of Pluto from Disney on it. Take a look. I mean, they're laughing at us with these constructs, CGI imagery, and
They're laughing at us. Have you seen the hair on some of these guys?
Wait, so can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So do you think that students who, go through school and want to, they have these aspirations to go into NASA or be astronauts, at what point are they let into the hoax?
Everything's very compartmentalized, and they get to a certain point and they may never make it into space. They may, work in the, in the training facilities. I mean, NASA does all of their training, all the spacewalks you ever see, which we don't see very many of them. They're done in a giant pool with a green screen in the pool. In official NASA footage, you see bubbles leaking out of the suits and floating up. I mean, how does a bubble float up in space?
I don't think that you see any of those things. But whatever.
But you
find
haven't
out.
looked. See, that's the only thing. The only reason people believe in NASA is because they just believe it, because they were told to believe it, and they've never really looked.
I believe that NASA exists.
What you mean?
Well, there
trust NASA?
NASA exists, but the space station is not real. There's no astronauts in space. If you look at any space station footage, they only show you at the most 30 seconds of weightlessness, if not of true weightlessness. If not, they're hanging by wires. You'll never see them do-si-do around each other because the wires will get tangled, and you'll never see them do a 180, let alone a 360 with a camera. When all of the filming of all of space missions, moon, everything, they've never done a 180 because, as we know in the studio, the fourth wall doesn't exist.
So do you think the astronaut knows that, or
there are some people speculating that astronauts could actually be fooled to be believing they're in space, but they're not. All the astronauts in space, mostly of them have an identical twin brother or sister
wait,
on the planet.
What you're saying? Hold on, if I understand this right, it's basically like on 30 Rock when they put Tracy Morgan in space.
That was
Just
as
told him he was
real
in
as what
space.
you see on the
That
space
is
station.
basically.
If you look at any other, there's a live NASA feed of the space station, or whenever they do, the interviews, you'll notice that the astronauts are very controlled. All of a sudden, their bodies will swing out of control. It's because they're in a zero-G plane doing a parabolic arc that can only give them weightlessness for 30 seconds. If you look at the women's hair, they have long hair, and it's up. It's frozen. Like when they move their head, it springs back and forth like hairspray, like wire. I mean, that's not how hair would float in space.
Well, listen, I'm no hair expert, but I'll tell you this: if Buzz Aldrin were here, he would wrestle you to the ground.
Well, Buzz
and pound
Aldrin
you and ground pound
along
you.
with a bunch of other astronauts, were offered, $5,000. They could keep it or give it to charity. All they had to do was put their hand on the Bible and say, "I walked on the moon," and all of them refused to do it.
Well, who was putting out the $5,000?
It was handed to them in their hands, cash money.
But
Like
was
on
it
the
some
corner.
cuckoo that
Yeah.
you don't want to deal with?
No, it was a reporter.
What
in a
reporter from where?
Look it up. Just look.
Like a
just,
Bang
Who
Bus
is
video?
Who is the reporter?
Is that the name of the guy? I don't know.
He's
I don't know
not
the name of the guy.
from Bang Bus. I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea. No,
That's
not
how
Bang
those
Bus. Oh, you said Bang Bus. I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
Were the astronauts on
I
a
forget
Bang
the
Bus
guy's
the whole
name,
time?
but a lot of people say he was very obnoxious. And if you look at it as, the astronauts are real and they're not lying, yeah, he was very obnoxious.
The guy
But
that he
knows.
punched. I saw that video.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's why he didn't want to play a game with the guy.
But
Because the guy he knocked him down, hadn't he?
I mean, if you had just walked on the moon, you were
I'd
the first
beat
man
your
to
ass
walk
for
on the
telling me I
moon,
didn't go to the moon.
and you came back and you were having a press conference. If you look at the original press conference with the three guys that walked on the moon, they are sitting there. They are petrified. They are depressed. They're not smiling. They're nervous about every word that comes out of their mouth, and none of them talk to the public.
Is that this is
I don't
not
know.
shit that's like evidence that you're interpreting their facial expressions and
Well,
then I got to go on that.
You know what? No, you don't. There's a thousand little things that you could say, all right, all of those are adding up, but none of them by themselves are evidence, but there's tons of evidence. I mean, if you look at the satellite, there's NASA admits there's no pictures of Earth except like one or two, but you can tell that there's CGI constructs. There's step and repeat clouds. If you look at the clouds of the official globe Earth picture, the same clouds are photoshopped all across the globe.
Okay.
You know what? I understand this because, like, my friend Maureen claims that she went on a celebrity cruise line for her honeymoon, and like, I swear to God, I do not believe it. You ask her more than 2 questions about it,
That's good.
and she ain't got nothing for you. You're like, okay, Maureen, show me more than 2 pictures. Answer me one question. How many seagulls did you see? Oh, guess what? Seagulls aren't that far into the ocean.
The point
Story.
I was trying to make is there's a picture from, I think, 1976 where it shows the United States, on a globe Earth, and then a new picture they released where the United States is 3 times the size. So you can
just
make
quick
a fat
question.
joke there,
You
I'm
believe,
sure.
You believe that missiles are real, though, right? Like the missiles
yeah.
that you could destroy a country with.
So
just why couldn't we just theoretically use that technology? Like,
To go into space.
Let's say we didn't go to
Sure,
the moon.
sure.
And the
We
moon's
didn't.
fake.
Yes.
But we couldn't just shoot something up in space. We don't have that amount of.
Well, if you look at every single satellite launch, moon launch, space shuttle launch, if you watch the rocket, it goes up, it cuts over backwards, it goes parallel with the ground, it goes out of range, and then it comes down in the Southern Ocean or in the Antarctic ring around us.
I'm gonna watch every single one.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this
what
sounds
happened to the
absolutely
Challenger?
insane.
What about the
Challenger?
Russians?
Just Google Challenger astronauts still alive. Every single one of them has an identical twin that has the same
Christina
name.
McAuliffe, the teacher?
Yep.
Wait, I have
Really?
a question. So
Yep,
wait, what
that
were
was
you saying?
traumatizing. I watched that.
fourth
I watched
grade.
that live, man.
Yeah.
You were saying that there isn't, but you believe that space exists. What were you saying about
I don't.
the dome?
I actually.
Well, let's get to the good part.
Oh, you
of-
want, so
Tell
hey,
them about the shape of the Earth.
So the Earth is an endless flat plane. There is no evidence that there is curve to the Earth. No one's seen it. No one can prove it. And there's thousands of proofs that it's an endless flat plane, and there are zero that it's a ball. I mean, you would think that if it's a ball, you can come up with at least one. But people say, well, what about circumnavigating the world?
Yeah.
I can go east and keep going, and I'll come back to where you are. Well, how it works is the center of the Earth is the North Pole, and that's the magnetic north. If you stay equidistant from the North Pole, you'll be heading on the same eastward heading or westward heading, and you'll just make a big circle around it. You won't even realize that you're making a slow right turn, a slow left turn. You come right back. If you head south, which is every other direction
So your
away from the
compass
North
is
Pole.
lying.
Your compass is dead right. You have a magnetic north, and if I'm here, if I'm on one side or the other, the compass is going to point towards the north. And
What
it's
about
gonna,
the sunset and sunrise?
the sunset? That is all perspective. That was a hard one for me to get over. As the sun moves across the flat Earth, it just reaches what's called the vanishing point and the horizon, and
So the sun is revolving around us.
it's revolving
space.
over us.
Is the sun a ball?
That's a great question. It looks like a ball to me.
yeah.
Like, so we're just the one flat thing.
We're the unmovable flat plane, and there's the proof of that if you just think about it. Right. So we're told the Earth is spinning at 24,000 miles an hour spinning. It's also going around the sun at 66,000 miles per hour or thereabouts. The sun is also revolving around at 600 and something thousand miles an hour. The Earth is also wobbling. The galaxy is moving through the universe. If you look at the sun, we're 93 million miles away from the sun. So 6 months later, we're 2 times 93 million miles away on the other side of the sun. But if you look at the North Star through a fixed something that you're looking through where it zooms in on it, 6 months later, it's still there. It's always there. It never moves. The stars never change. Decade after decade, millennium after millennium. And with all of these motions, they never change.
You know, be honest with you, dude. I just kind of lost track of the whole thing. But because the reason is, look, I don't even know about any of that shit. It really just comes down to why would. First of all, I got to believe so many people are lying together or like in on this. I mean, it's a lot of people to be in on this.
So it's not as many as you think. And yes,
Well, how many? How many would you say?
7. No,
So
I'm just kidding.
oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
And you're gonna have some Russian liars.
So
too?
500 years ago, everyone knew that the Earth was flat. Famous line from whatever that movie
Right.
was. Long time ago, there was beings, I'll call them human beings, I believe there were, that knew how to build pyramids. We can't do that today. There was technology back then. They had astronomy back then. When they thought the Earth was
I
flat,
just watched a thing about how they built pyramids, and it was like you could easily build. You could
Yeah,
build
it's
hard.
nobody can do it today.
It's hard
Yes,
though.
they can. They
needs-
figured it out. You
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
kept up with your History Channel.
I have to say
watched
though,
them do it.
No, I have to say though, one time
Here we go.
I was there when my friend Mike stabbed my other friend Mike, and at least 7 or 8 of us kept our stories straight.
The message
God.
boards are lighting up, but I feel like I don't want to. These calls are most. I want somebody to call in because listen. This is what I always say if I had to argue from when I used to be like Christian. If I had to argue with a creationist now, and you ever see like Bill Nye, the science guy, debate these fucking 6-day creationists, and he always makes the same mistake of bringing evidence with him.
John.
I wouldn't bring none of that shit. You ain't gonna convince them with evidence. If they believe that, they wouldn't believe this horseshit story they believe.
Right.
So they all come with like slides, and people just glaze over, and because the bottom line is, you're like, I already know this is the thing. So I want somebody to call in who actually knows a thing or two, who could actually talk to Dave. I feel like the
So
guy.
I just wanna
I
say
feel
one
like the
thing.
guy. Wait, the guy saying "Who the fuck is this retard?" I don't feel is going to add to the discourse.
So wait a minute. I just want to say one thing. This is when this was approached to me for 6 months. I just ignored people. I told them they were morons. I refused to look, and then I
What
looked.
changed your mind?
I looked. Somebody forced me to look at something. I said, "That's interesting," and I looked farther, and I literally went for a month just researching 24/7, and
for 1 month.
it's been well over that. It's been almost a year, and it took me 6 months before I would even tell anybody that I thought the Earth was flat.
So wait, are the people who are much smarter than me that say it's round? Okay, I don't have the science to debate them on it. I was like, well, that looks like one of them smarty pants people, so he's right. Are they lying? Or are they just misinformed?
It's the grand deception of all, and there's a reason for it. We can talk about that in a second. What I'm saying is, don't believe me.
I think Hatem has that answer. And it's going to be the Jews.
Don't believe me. I'm sure they are involved.
Not the only one.
Don't believe me. Go to my website, deepinsidetherabbithole.com. On the top right is a thing that says, "Is the Earth a ball?" Watch just a couple of the videos there, and you'll watch them all. And when you're done, you'll know the truth.
All right, cool. Well, let's hold on because we are going to get back to this.
Okay.
After we smoke.
We got no fucking smoke. But because Hatem, because when did you text me? Were you listening to the last one when I was trashing Caitlin's Palestinian story?
No, unfortunately.
You just sensed.
Yeah.
You just had an itch
feeling
in your fucking sword nose.
Yeah, something like is happening at Race Wars that concerns me.
It was. Yeah. It was happening.
Yeah, I felt that.
Because it was that Grand Mufti thing about Ariel Sharon kind of pinning it on the Holocaust on the Grand Mufti of Palestine.
Seriously, yeah. Netanyahu, yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, first of all, they sided with the Nazis in the war. And if you ask them, well, hey, how do you feel about the Holocaust? You're like, well, we need more of them. So, Hitler would have done it anyway, but it's not like they all
what
don't.
What did she say?
Oh, it's just when Caitlin describes Israel shit. She has such a. And by the way, I'm not even pro-Israel like that. Like,
yes, you are.
Not at all.
You have a
not
show.
At all.
You are. Somehow
I'm only pro-Israel enough to remain in show business. That's correct. But Caitlin always says like, oh, poof, Israel. Like, so it was really just to kind of jab at Caitlin where I brought up this like, well, they were fucking Nazis. So I figured that you heard that, and that's why you called. So that's why I wanted to have you on, because I like to get people on, especially after I give a good trashing to Sand Heebs.
Oh, I like that. No, I wish I heard it, but I mean, listen, what's your point on that? Like, you really think?
What if you listen? Let's say there's no Israel. Like, what would you put there instead? You know, like if you like, let's get them. Let's say it's not a state of Israel. I'm not even saying what you do at the gym. I'm saying what does it look like now? There's no Israel. So what is the? What do you say?
Palestine,
right?
And Egypt and Syria.
But what is Palestine like? Like what is it? Is it like a theocracy, or is it like like how Israel is, but just
no? It's gonna
Arabs?
be like the rest of the Arabic countries, you know. Same shit.
That doesn't sound good, Hatem.
Yeah,
it sounds worse than Israel.
No.
Try to look at it from the point of view of a man that's not afraid to see uncovered faces. But and honestly, you don't live in them countries. You live here.
No, but I lived there.
But you had some money, dude. And I knew, because I know Hatem from the cellar, by the way. My roommate outside Steve, who hates that name, by the way. Do you know we call
I saw
Steve?
him yesterday. Yeah, I know.
Outside Steve does not like that name one bit. And so Hatem used to be outside Steve, okay? But then, and Hatem would crack me up outside the cellar every fucking night. Hatem's hysterical. And but then I'd see him drive around like a fucking Jaguar. I'm like, I know that ain't outside Steve money. So that's some kind of, I don't know where you're getting that from. But you probably are like, yeah, they're great because you live in the best possible.
He's selling bumper stickers. He's selling free Palestine bumper stickers.
You told me you knew Saudis when I was making fun of the dude that died, and I said he opened up the eye slits a little wider because he was progressive. And you were like, the guy, you're the king of Saud. Ibn, what was his name?
Abdullah.
Oh, King Abdullah. When he died, do you remember that angle?
Yeah, sure.
And I was like talking about he was like the reformer. Like he widened eye slits by 3 centimeters.
Oh, you mean on the facial
on
cover?
the fucking ninja hats.
Okay.
And but Hatem's like, no, he's a good guy. And I didn't realize Hatem knows like he did you go to the funeral or something?
Yeah, but I mean, like they are that all the people, like the kings and princes, like they have money and educated. They are good people.
Yeah,
it's the people under them that you have the wrong perspective.
But you want to recreate this?
Yeah, because basically, you see, here's what happened. Egypt has a lot of Jews. Jordan, Syria has a lot of Jews.
Still,
still.
Really?
I don't think not as many as they all. I don't want to see kick them out, but we kind of did. But Israel, Israel is a country that's based on religion. I don't think any country should be based on religion, and that's
aren't they all kind of though?
No, I mean, like who? Give me one country.
Nobody. Okay, but you don't think
they say I'm Jewish. Like, what does that mean?
Well, that's this weird thing, and there's a good point you're bringing up because that is.
Thank you.
I remember people saying it's not a racist religion, but
Yeah.
it's kind of. It took me 7 years to make friendly with my girl's parents, like where I met both of them. That's 7 years of dating because I wasn't a Jew.
Let me
So
rephrase
there's
what
a
you just
tribe-
said.
yeah.
7 years, and you think they like you.
No, they like me.
Okay.
First of all, I'm real Jewy looking, and we did a whole Shabbat dinner, and I wore the hat.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got like the perfect.
You
amount
wore
of-
the hat, and he said, "I don't like." Okay, there we go.
And plus, I know, I know all those stories.
Yeah.
Like I know all, so I could talk with them about it, so they like that.
Did you make fun of them?
A little bit. I mean, not like out of line, but in a way that made them laugh. I can
Okay.
charm somebody's parents too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And plus, Jews are kind of easy to get along with. Let's
Yeah,
face it.
seriously. So
Well,
being
not.
not everybody. Not
No, but he
I
gets
get
along with everybody.
Yeah.
Hatem gets along with everybody, but I like having him because he's such the fucking Arab side of things.
Most, the thing is like, I have a lot of my friends are Jews, most of them, but the thing is like when I look at them, I don't look at Jewish friends or Christian friends. I just have friends. It's the opposite with them. They say like, oh, we are Jews together. That's the problem. That's what I think is the problem.
Because we're the chosen people.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Andrew Goldstein on the commemorative Andrew Goldstein microphone.
Where
That's
is he?
who.
Where is he?
He's right there.
I just gotta,
Oh my God.
The chosen-
Hatem's Jew sense
They
is
are
way
the
off
chosen.
tonight.
No,
you can't smell me?
no.
Get,
No, the
get
Jews
that
are
hummus sniffer up in the air. And see
they
if he-
are the chosen people by ISIS.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. The other thing that I don't like also is saying like everything you talk about is like anti-Semitic. First of all, Jews are the only one that's
Right,
Semitic.
Arabs are Semites also.
Yeah.
It is a silly term.
How did you get to get it? And we don't.
Yeah.
Like, this
Well,
bullshit.
listen, because there's also thing. It's very difficult to talk about these things, especially my girl. If we get into it and I'm not on board with something Israel, it gets like heated, so I got to back off it. But you got to
Yeah.
understand, they're not really Jews with money like that. So they, that's what Zionism's for.
Yeah.
For, like if you don't have money and you're Jew, you can hold on to Zionism. That's what Tell told me.
But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
if you watch like old movies, you find Jews and Arabs. They were like living together. They say we watch each other kids when we were young. Like it was great. You know what I'm saying? Until religion got involved and it just become.
Well, there was more of a secular movement in like the 60s and shit, and not just this Hamas shit. There really was. And there was
Yeah.
a guy that was really like I don't want to say Martin Luther King, but a guy who was like a more we can get along guy, and he got deported by the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah.
Because I guess that was a little more of a threat. But now how it is with Hamas. I was watching this thing about, did you see that documentary about the guy? He was the son of a high up Hamas
Yeah.
guy, and he ended up becoming a spy for Israel because they were doing, about their bombings.
I think that's Homeland.
So no. He's a real guy. It's on Netflix. It's something. You can look it up. But the story's like fascinating. Like this guy, because he was in Hamas doing shit, and then he was getting disturbed by the things they were doing.
Yeah.
And so he started working with this guy, and then finally he really is about to get fucked over. But the Mossad agent that was like his handler, like fucking kind of saved his ass so he could stay in America. And I was just looking him up, and I'm like looking this guy's name up on a thing, and there's like a million like from all over America and Canada, like just young Muslims. Like, I hope this piece of shit dies. I'm like, well, that's very pro Hamas. Like, I'm not pro Hamas at all. Like, they aren't fucking cool. And like, I don't know why they're mad at this guy because he stopped bombings.
I don't think
and I don't
anybody
give a shit.
is. That's the problem. Hamas
These
is
are-
not popular. Like they have
Well,
all the
but,
problems that we have in Egypt right now.
this might be now that they've been fucking up.
It's been forever, But you see, that's the
Not
thing.
well. How
The
they get
real-
elected then? If they like this thing came out at a certain point. I'm sure this is from a few years ago, and the post I saw.
Election doesn't really reflect. Like, do you really want Donald Trump to be the president? Like, is he really everybody? No.
So I mean, no, but sometimes I do because I feel like I could survive it just fine, and it would give people that get mad about jokes something really big to worry about.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Like,
sure.
you guys are-
comedians. I'm sure you guys want him to be, but
Yeah, but not even for comedy reason. But I think he's a mutation of, when Obama like didn't seem like a politician. Like Obama just seemed like a better guy to me,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
like, oh, he's not like a politician. And then it's like I don't think he's bad, but he's just a politician.
Yeah.
So that the mutation of that feeling is fucking Donald Trump. Like now, this guy's really not a politician.
That's true.
And he just said, and then when you watch him talk about the other Republicans, it is funny as shit. He is so funny making because I really just like the other Republicans. So he's mocking them like, that guy's pretty funny. And then I don't know what he would I think he just knows shit to say that rubes want to hear. And he's rich enough that he's got to be smart enough that he doesn't think Mexico's going to build a wall for us. Like he's got to be smart enough to know it's not a thing. And he's just saying shit.
Yeah,
because he was donating to Hillary a couple couple years ago. So there's no way that's his. This is like. But I love when they ask him if the Bible's his favorite, and they go, "What's your favorite part?" And I know what his favorite part is. It's like Clockwork Orange. He likes to imagine himself whipping Jesus in the height of Roman fashion. The toe jocking and the nailing in. But
so the point is, like, Hamas is not, represent, just like ISIS, just like Taliban. All these are not Muslim. Just like there's a lot of Jewish movements that much better. That Netanyahu is not. I don't think he's representative of Israel. He get elected.
I'm not into that guy either. Yeah.
So I mean, if you talk to like a lot of the Jews, they really don't like what's going on right now. Jews.
Well, listen. What you hope is the kids get sick of that shit.
Do you about what's going on right now?
You want kids to get sick of that shit, but then here's what happens. In the schools, because I watched the fucking. You can see the clips of the shit that they show Palestinians on TV.
Yeah,
it's fucking hysterical, and it's indoctrination. Now, I'm sure a lot of them are smarter than that, but probably the majority aren't. That's not good, and that's not going to break down the next cycle. Like, you got to hope there's people are going to get above that shit to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Sure. And I don't even know what makes that happen, dude. Because if you just think land is holy, I like, what could be done with you? Seriously, if you think there's just sacred, like, there's Jews now there. Do you know what a frumka is? It's a fucking Jewish burqa. They got their own fucking ninja suit.
I know. I live in Williamsburg.
And now they're the ones who are breeding the most. The ones that don't want to go. Like, and I know the Israelis are sick of them not pitching in with the army. Like, they're like, well, we have to do davening all day, so we can't, because God needs us to flicker like we're a candle. And the people pulling their weight are kind of sick of that shit. But they're like the Taliban of the Jews, and they're the ones outbreeding the secular Jews now.
That's true.
So I don't know, like, how you're going to fix that when you just think that there's this place that God touched.
Well,
and then there's
really
like,
holy. Like, is it the same place that
dude? When they got mad at Ariel Sharon for setting foot near the fucking mosque, like, shut the fuck up. He walked near your thing, like, of all the childish insanity. And then the Jews got their own. She told me she took a birthright trip. Yeah. Like, where you get to go to the Wailing Wall, and they had women they're called sneeze police. Yeah. They're to cover your fucking knees up and like they try to separate the boys and the girls into a thing. And then you always hear about these bus rides where these men will just attack, they'll spit on people that just aren't Jews, like real fucked up shit like that. Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what I'd do if some yeshiva student spit on me. It'd be real ugly, and I wouldn't want my German name in the paper.
I mean, you must be like a real nerd to have yeshiva students like
attacking
on you.
No, you're being like, taught really? You're the fucking
everyone thinks that city is holy. It's not just the Jews.
No, I know.
The Muslims think it's been blessed by God, and the Christians think it's
and that's
holy
the big
land.
problem. And it was on Vice. Did you see Vice about it? Because they always talk about the Jewish lobby. The Jews don't have that kind of power to do that. It's the evangelical Christians that have all these prophecies, and they're the muscle of that fucking lobby. Like when you go the Israel lobby. The Israel lobby wouldn't be able to do that without all these Bible beaters who really believe that's where Jesus is going to touch down and everything kicks off. So they promote everything they think could be, this could be the end. Hooray!
Exactly.
And then there's this whole Jewish group that loves that, and they exploit it, and they're probably laughing at these fucking dipshit rednecks, because why wouldn't they? And they use that as a thing. But I didn't realize that, because you always hear about that.
The whole area needs new leadership. It's been the same 8 guys.
I agree. And they have
How long has Netanyahu been doing his thing?
Forever.
On and off.
Yeah.
And
wait, hold on. We got finally somebody interesting. Hold on, just calling. I don't mean you guys. I mean the fucking call. The calls were all like just mean shit at Dave. I'm not taking out. But this guy is a conservative. Hold on. Let me get him. Is he coming on? Oh, I've used them out. I'm just touching the screen like a fucking dipshit. That's how much I'm not qualified.
Sherrod can do it, and he can't.
Hey, Sydney, is that you?
That's me, buddy.
Hey, thanks for calling, Sydney. Which one of us makes no sense? Because it could be anyone. Your note says, I'm a Christian conservative from the South, and this guy makes no sense. He's driving me insane. Are you talking about Dave or me or Hatem or, I mean...
Dave. I suppose. I actually just kind of tuned in a little late, not you. Whoever's saying that the Earth is flat.
Right. Well, but what kind? When you say Christian conservative, what's your exact Christian that you are?
I'm Catholic.
Oh, well, that's weird. I never see one.
I went to Catholic school for 13 years.
Yeah. Well, like, are you Catholic? Like, well, probably not in the Mel Gibson sense, but are you Catholic? Like, you like. I always had friends that were Catholic, and I always say I used to envy them because you really don't have to like do it at all, and you could just be a Catholic.
No. I volunteer. My kids go to a Catholic
school.
I have a master's degree in Catholic pastoral theology.
Where are you at in Kentucky?
I'm in the hills of eastern Kentucky in the coal mines, so I'm like one of 5 Catholics here.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a Catholic area. Do they not like you? Because that's like I know in my dummy religion, that was like, you're a straight up pagan to me, but those Baptists don't like you neither, do they?
No. I get told all the time, well, that's not Christian, and it's really ridiculous because it's the same thing as the flat earth thing we're talking about. There's just a bunch of unfacts and a bunch of made up crap that is spewed out, and it's all, not true, and it breeds hate and ignorance.
Do you have any examples?
Of which
examples that the Earth is a spinning, wobbling ball flying through space?
Sure. I don't know if you've seen it. We have these big metal things that fly through the sky called airplanes, and if all magnets only pointed north, and it wasn't just in alignment with the magnetic poles of both poles of the Earth, then we would be able to. We can fly around near the pole, right, the North Pole, and we know how long that takes.
Sure.
If there was only a northern hemisphere, your theory would sound good. However, we can also fly around the South Pole, and
nobody's done it.
See that it's totally they have.
There's no. Do you know about the Antarctic Treaty? Nobody is allowed to go to the Antarctica. Antarctica is not a continent. It's actually a ring surrounding the outer hemisphere, which we call the southern hemisphere.
That's not true. Metallica played on it.
Wait, hold up, everybody. Can I just get Philly Girl's perspective on this? Now, we've heard a lot of go back and forth. Philly Girl, what do you say when you hear this science?
When I think about science, I just think about airplanes and how I think it would be really awesome to be on an airplane someday. I think I would be really good at it, but mostly I just drive down the shore. And I'm not gonna lie, he's got a good point. When I drive down the shore, it's just flat. It's the flat Earth.
If you have the perspective of an ant, grass is really big too.
No, I am an ant. I have 2 nephews, and they're the lights of my life. And I'm gonna go home and see them for Halloween.
So here, I have a question for you. You would agree that the spinning ball is spinning at the equator about 24,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles an hour, so you make a full revolution in about 24 hours, correct? Rounding off, of course?
Yeah.
So an airplane...
I'll take credit then.
So an airplane sitting on a runway, not moving, is already going 1,000 miles per hour, correct?
Absolutely.
So if you take off with the spin of the Earth, and the airplane accelerates to 500 miles an hour, you're now moving 500 miles an hour over the land, but you're going 1,500 miles an hour according to a point in space above the land. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you're actually going faster than that because of the expansion of the...
Okay, so hang on, before it's even going up higher. So if you go up to northern, Canada or Alaska, it's a much smaller loop, and it's only moving maybe 300 or 400 miles an hour. If you took off from a plane there, when you're standing still, you're going 300 miles an hour. You speed up to 500, you're going 700 miles an hour. You fly down to the equator, and you try to land at the equator, but the Earth is going 1,000 miles per hour. How do you ever catch the runway? That's pilots. Pilots can't answer this.
Sydney, listen, can I tell you something?
I can answer this. Yeah. The same reason that when a fly flies in a plane, it still moves. It's not having to fly to keep up with the plane. It's relative. The entire air mass of the Earth is also doing that.
Yeah. How are you going 1,500 miles per hour if you're not on Earth?
Well, here's what we've established. Dave and Ann Coulter are officially the hardest people to argue with.
It's very difficult to argue with me. It's very difficult to argue with me because you actually have to think, engage your brain, disengage the lies that you've been told that don't have any proof, and look. I've compiled all the evidence.
Is there a possibility that these are lies you're being told, and that you need to disengage from those lies?
Well, that's a great point, but I'm looking at actual evidence. I'm looking at physical facts.
You say that there's also no evidence that the Earth is curved at all. Aristophanes started proving that in the 2nd century BC in Alexandria. He did it by taking poles, putting them out in various areas. At the same time of day, they measured the shadows and saw that at the same time of the day, there's a different angle from the sun to those points, proving that the Earth is curved.
Well, that proves that the Earth is curved, but you can take the exact same thing on a flat Earth, put the sun about 3... Hold on, buddy. You can do the exact same things on a flat Earth, and have the sun much closer and much smaller, and it'll make the same differences in the shadow. One won't have any shadow, and the other one will lean away. There's a video on my website called "The Greatest Lie of All." Check it out, and then you'll understand.
I have a website as well, and it is also called "The Greatest Lie of All." And it's about Beyonce's pregnancy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She was flat.
Like,
they thought it was round, but it was a flat surface with no baby.
Exactly.
Our website is findbjj.com. I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
All right. Well, hold on, Sydney. Let's because honestly, all these like science facts. First of all, I don't even know who the fuck's right or wrong right now. This is why I said you can't go based on evidence. I would just say,
can't go based on stories. You can go based on evidence.
But for the purpose of this show, like. I promise me half the people are like, I just think what I think. My whole thing is I just go by, because I know Dave, he tends to believe like all the things. So that's just this is my dumb guy's way of going about. I'm like, well, he just happens to believe. Like I asked him,
I happen to believe that 9/11 was fake.
But every fucking thing is a false flag. Like, if you had one of them, you're like, oh, no, that just happened how they said. I would be like, all right, well, the guy doesn't, he has a measured approach. But just based on it, it's like, I think you're just going to go that way. And I got to tell you, from church, I got real good at spotting people that want to believe a thing. You know, like, because that's what I used to do.
That's what you would think, but it's not the case at all. I would love to prove any of these things wrong. I just can't.
Well, mark my word, Sydney, in 7 years.
Especially
Hey,
when you use the example of church, because as a more scholastic type Christian and not just an ignorant Bible thumper, I run into that all the time. And just like I said before, with people attacking me for being Catholic because they think that we believe a lot of things that we don't. It's something that comes from ignorance.
Sydney, I have a request for you. There's a guy that has a YouTube channel called Rob Skiba, Skiba. Look him up, check out some of his videos, and take your time and watch the videos on my website, especially the one called 200 Proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball, and then rethink your question. And then if you still believe it, which I don't think you will, but you have to take the time to watch.
I don't know how like Rob Skiba would have got it right, and all these other people would have got. It's just bottom line. All these geniuses not get it right.
There's a lot of people that know the Earth is flat, and they're not talking about it. A lot of Muslims. There was a Muslim cleric at the UN.
Don't get that. Hell no.
That's a great point from Dave.
There's a Muslim cleric. Just Google it.
Jews think the Earth is flat. Muslims think it's round.
Yeah.
Jews. A lot of redneck Christians here that believe the Earth is flat too, and they also believe that it was created in 6 days and is only 5,000 years old. But these are things we know aren't true. You can believe all you want, that doesn't mean it's true.
You know, I used to believe.
Start
now
running
I know.
now from Kentucky. Start running now.
Listen, Sydney.
Well, I sell bourbon for a living, so when you control these people's alcohol flow, they tend to like you either way.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell Sydney, I'm going to go, but I'll tell you flat out. 7 years, Dave's theories will be taught in textbooks, and it's going to hit Kentucky first.
Hey, Sydney, check out those videos. Check out Rob Skiba, and look up Flat Earth Clues on YouTube.
All right. Thanks for calling, man. I'm still poking the screen like a dum-dum. This is the hang up, right? All right. Thank you, Sydney.
Later, man.
Let's go to this other call. Oh, this guy can answer Dave. All right, well, hey, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up, man?
And Carl, hold on the line for a second, because I'm going to talk to Jeff first. All right, so you're from California, and you can answer Dave on why you can land on the runway? I tuned out during that part, so I'm glad you're on the ball with this.
No pun intended.
I've got to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all based off relative acceleration. It's the same reason why if you take, like, a train, like, from the north and going south, and you go 1,000 miles south, the train doesn't have to accelerate in order to keep up with that part of the Earth. It doesn't fly off the Earth. The train tracks don't come off the ground. It's exactly the same thing in the air because the atmosphere is moving with the Earth. So there's no difference as a plane being in the air than a person on the ground.
Well,
you don't have to accelerate.
Yeah, what about that then?
There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. If you're standing on the equator, you're moving 1,000 miles an hour. If you're standing on the actual North Pole, you're not moving at all. You're just spinning around in a circle every 24 hours.
It's probably hard to make presents.
And where does that relative speed come from? If you take off from the North Pole where you're not moving, how do you catch up to 1,000 mile an hour spinning equator?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're moving with the Earth. like as you move down the Earth, it's the same. I mean, it's the same argument as if you were to walk.
Well, that's what the Bilderbergers would have you believe. Sure.
So you believe that the entire atmosphere is Velcroed to the Earth, spinning. So up high, it's even moving.
It doesn't use Velcro. It uses
I don't know.
The entire atmosphere is held on by gravity. It's spinning. Right. So at that point where the atmosphere ends and space begins, there's a vacuum that is unable to suck the air off the Earth, even though there's no container over it, but they say if they got a small, hole in the space station or any spaceship, it would suck all the air out in a second and kill everybody, but it can't suck the air off the top of the atmosphere. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, because the gravity's holding it on.
Gravity, the magic of gravity.
I have a question.
It's gravity and magnetism.
So when you say
field on a space station, then it would hold the atmosphere in. But because we don't have the technology to create a small gravitational field within a space station, then of course the air is going to come out on the space station, but not on the Earth.
Wait, are you a no gravity guy too?
I believe in density and magnetism. That's how and it's
No,
not gravity. Gravity is just a theory.
Tell my ass that.
It's just a theory. It's called the theory of gravity. They haven't proven it. They've never shown any experiment that could show anything else creating gravity.
I have a question.
Yeah. And the theory of gravity doesn't work with the moon, so they say, oh, the moon's hollow. That's why it has less gravity.
So when you say the Earth is spinning 5,000 miles, 5,000 miles an hour, and what's the caller? Sydney? What's the caller's name?
No, this is now Carl.
Carl. So you?
No, it's not Carl. I don't even know.
Well, whoever
who
the caller is, you agree that it's 5,000 miles per hour, right?
1,000.
Wait, so you think it's You're saying it's 5,000 miles per hour, and the caller saying the more popular thought is it's 1,000 miles per hour.
Wait, listen.
I'm just curious because if there's like a number like that like you guys can agree on.
No, they have. This is what happens.
I'm just curious.
There's a way to interpret the numbers. Like what they do is they compensate for all the shit for the for the flat Earth thing. He's got a compensation for everything on that. It's basically it boils down to if you think it's a lie, someone went to space and saw this shit,
right?
Because they the gravity thing. I've heard that before.
I'm just curious. I'm always curious. Like where does the deviation start? Like if you guys agree on the amount of how quickly the Earth spins, then like what?
Well, we know the Earth spins in 24 hours. It's about 24.
How do you know that's not
the sun? He says it's a lie. The sun is moving. Well,
that's what I'm saying according to the ball
or
Earth
is the
theory.
Earth a record player? Like is it like that Lauryn Hill video? Where it's like just spin.
So here, is the caller still on the line? I have a gravity question for you. So the gravity of the sun is holding the Earth in place, and then the moon happens to be just close enough to the Earth that the gravity of the Earth is holding the moon in place. How come when the moon is moving away from the sun, goes around the Earth, and goes back towards the sun, it doesn't speed up or slow down?
Is he even there?
No.
All right, listen, we gotta. This is becoming a fucking math show.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit!
I've never been more turned on. I gotta be on.
You know what? Let's do. How long do we have till we got to take a break? You got time? Because 10 minutes. Let's do like a news story or something. This is getting so goddamn dry. It's going nowhere. This guy from Canada, Churro, says he's seen the. Oh, he's going. He said he's seen the curve of the Earth, but his name's Churro, so he's probably lying. Let's do some news. And Caitlin, what do you have?
You want to talk about tonight's debate?
Oh, I fucking forgot all about it because I was wrapped up in my own problems.
Starting in 15 minutes.
Oh, hold on. You know what? We'll do news after.
Okay.
Tommy, do you have a thing? Like, do you have anything at all?
Question.
Okay, GT Tommy's here.
Hi. Can I ask a question? I know you don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
But what's on the underside of the Earth if it's flat?
I have no idea.
Well, so like,
what's past the end of space if the Earth is around? What's in the middle of the Earth? Nobody knows. They've only gone down.
Two elephants on the back of a turtle. It's pretty obvious.
I think it's mold.
That was my
I
second
bet it's
question.
just straight up mold.
What benefit is there to this conspiracy? Like, who's benefiting from lying?
So
to us about this?
That's jumping way ahead, but I'll give you the 30-second answer.
And this is Carl's question on the line, so we're answering it now.
I'll give it to you. Is control. They don't want people to know. They want us to feel that we're an insignificant speck flying through the cosmos, that we're a random chance, and there's billions of other places just like us to separate us from God. And if you realize that the Earth is flat, we're the center, and we're not moving, and everything revolves around us, that will connect you to God, raise your vibration, and then you will be uncontrollable.
Oh,
I think that's the Mary J. Blige song.
But I think that's Hot 10's Muslim faith in a nutshell. Okay, well.
What?
Hot damn, that's your people. What? Yeah, because this is the thing, and this is the ultimate thing. That's why that's why I say with evidence is a big waste of time. Just look. Basic theory, like this idea that someone can control everything, like have you ever seen about humans that leads you to believe that that's possible? Like people control shit. You think that's a possibility? You would have to be a lizard man of advanced intelligence.
You don't think that they're manipulating the population? The government and above the government.
I think constantly they try and they succeed often. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't take that elaborate. Like you don't have to pretend the Earth is a different shape.
They've been doing it for 500 years. The Catholic Church started it 500 years ago.
The Earth is round.
The Earth was flat, and they came up with the heliocentric model. And
the Catholic Church killed.
They threatened to chop off Galileo's head. I thought, and they wouldn't even look in his telescope at the planets and shit.
Girls, though.
Yeah, you don't listen to the Indigo Girls?
It's been. You know what? It's unimaginable. I can't imagine that they could possibly pull something like this off. But if you look at the evidence, the Earth is flat.
But dude, look. Let me tell you something. Maybe your math's all on point. I don't fucking know. But let's say it is. It's just. It's more likely to you that they pulled this off than they could. Like, how would they pull this off? Like, even like the Iraq conspiracy. How the fuck did that not go as planned if we got this amazing control? Sure. It's just this shit gets out. If they had planned, I don't think it would work.
Had planned on what?
Any of this shit where like any conspiracy that requires. Upwards of 1,000 people to pull off.
Yeah, because like you watch like one episode of Frasier, and they can't even like handle the fact that like they're dating the same lady or something, or like somebody forgot the opera tickets, and they're like the smartest dudes that there are. So like I don't understand how all these people could like
Frasier's
agree
pretty
on
smart.
a war. Yeah, Ed Niles.
Ed Niles is pretty smart. You saying he's smarter than Niles and Frasier?
Are you smarter than Niles and Frasier?
I think so. Yeah.
Holy shit!
So
man.
I'll tell you the first thing that I told you that I was refusing to look at this flat Earth thing until somebody pointed out this video on the horizon, and it shows that no matter how high you go, if you can look into the distance on a clear day, the sky meets the land at your eye level or the camera's eye level. Always. And that can't happen on a ball. If you're on a ball, as you go up, the horizon will drop down. But the horizon, whether you're on the top of Mount Everest, in an airplane, or at sea level, always meets at eye level.
All right,
Typical man.
Check it out.
Let's test it out. Goldstein, get on my balls and see. Get my balls on your eye line. And I want you to tell me. Did you know Tommy's head was actually flat? It looks round.
Hey, check out my Facebook page, Ball Earth Skeptic, and also on YouTube, Ball Earth Skeptic. It's a 12-part series where we interviewed people that just laid out facts, and if you take your time and listen to it, you too will realize the ridiculousness of the Ball Earth.
And don't confuse it with Ball Earth Septic, which is an anal site I like.
Can I ask one more question of Dave?
Yeah.
Dave, where do you come down on HIV/AIDS? Is it
real?
Good
question.
And what was the crisis?
I believe it was engineered, and how much of it was real, maybe it was exaggerated. It is real. I know people that have it and have, but I believe that the drugs that they treated you with are what killed most of the people.
No, that's why I never wear a condom. What? I went to Oh yeah, remember
My
that?
AIDS is flat.
Tommy has flat egg. Do you remember that sketch of Unpleasant Truth? I think you weren't working at Schumer yet, but the one where we all had been lying to our wives, so we were just going to plan to kill them because we couldn't possibly tell them. And I had been on a sex tour of sub-Saharan Africa, and the line I forgot to say, it was a Florentine. Is it fun? I'm like, yeah, dude. But I want to be like, I had sex with a giraffe. Like you can do whatever you want. Anyway, it just reminded me I want to do that one day. Just straight up fuck a giraffe. They're almost going extinct, giraffes.
We're losing 2,000 species per day,
well,
or some crazy number. It's like 140,000 times, or 40,000 times.
No, this
natural
giraffe's
extinction
fault. This is all on giraffes.
Most of them are bugs, and I say go rodents.
Most yeah, well, giraffes, it turns out, because they don't really have natural predators like that, because they actually have really sharp hooves, and their heads are all, so it's hard to jump up and get the good part. But most of the males
are you
just,
still talking about fucking them?
Giraffe? No. Well, most giraffes are gay, just naturally gay, and it's very hard to get them to take interest in a female giraffe, so they're kind of petering out. That's what the people that
What's your website called about gay giraffes?
Ironically, it's called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole also. But it's not just about rabbits, guys. All right. How did we get to? Because then, what's the next thing I want to do with? I guess Caitlin will do the news.
Can I ask Dave a question that has to do with the Republican debate before we go to break?
Yes. Sure. Well, I wish you would.
Do you believe that Trump is just a Clinton operative?
You know,
to torpedo the GOP, so Hillary Clinton is assured the White House.
It sure
That's the going.
It sure looks that way, but I don't believe that presidents are elected; they're selected. So they already know who's going to be president. They're gonna have Trump as the forerunner.
Who is they?
It's called the Electoral College.
No, it's called some people like to call it the Illuminati, so you can put the conspiracy word on it. But it's the Bilderbergers, the Council of Foreign Relations, and above.
Do you know what the Illuminati
I built a
were?
burger with my nephews for Christmas. No, it's awesome. You go and you like put the stuffing in them, and like you pick out their sneakers and stuff.
Do you think the Build-A-Bear group could be involved in
I
this?
gotta start watching the Amy Schumer show. It's got to be hysterical.
Yeah. God, that was such an amazing thing. I blanked out whatever the fuck I was going to say next. Fuck. Well, I don't know. We got to go commercial. We got a commercial anyway, so maybe it'll come to me.
Baller Skeptic, check it out on Facebook.
Okay. So Nate from Wyoming, if he's still on the line after this, he wants to know where volcanoes come from. Any ideas where volcanoes come from?
Volcanoes are just vents on the earth, on the big flat earth.
Yeah, so you know it's probably underneath?
You can't go down. We can't get past 8 miles because it gets too hot. You can't go south because it gets too cold and desolate. And you can't go up because of the Van Allen radiation belt. We are in a cage.
Well, that's not cool of the creator. All right, let's go to commercial, and then we'll come back and do the news.
Race Wars. We'll be right back.
Hey, guys, just a reminder. Get your Harry's Razors at harrys.com. $15 for a month of shaving, but $5 off if you use the promo code RACEWARS. Go check it out. Harry's Razors, month of shaving for $10 using the promo code RACEWARS. Hey, we're back. Dave, we are back. So Dave and GT Tommy are bonding on their theories. But we're going to do the news now with Caitlin.
Hey.
Yeah, Caitlin Bailey on the news.
Very exciting. The third GOP debate is tonight.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Well, why is it exciting?
I don't know, because Bush isn't going to make it, it looks like.
Who's ahead, Richie Rich or Urkel?
Urkel. Ben Carson has been ahead in the polls the last couple of days, and Trump is throwing a little bit of a hissy fit about it. He told an Iowa audience, will you get your numbers up, please? Will you get those numbers up? I promise you, I'll do such a good job. I won't speak to you if you don't get my numbers up.
I think a Ben Carson presidency would be about 1 billion times worse than a Donald Trump presidency.
Why?
Because I don't think Ben Carson's that cynical. I think the shit he's got in his head is unbelievable. I mean, he really says something. And plus, he's a doctor, so we're going to talk him out of it. He's a brain surgeon.
Right.
You know, you can't even get him with you aren't exactly a brain surgeon because he's exactly that.
Well, Carson has the most to lose in this debate because he hasn't been attacked up until now. So I feel like tonight is when we'll see how he defends himself.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a problem with his Popeye's chicken story where somebody put a gun in his ribs. He's like, you want the guy behind the counter? That's just logic. Like, why would you rob the guy in line at the counter and not the cashier? That's just Ben being smart. Now, that's the brain surgery.
That shows me he can run a country.
You know that debate thing is it's an American culture thing. There's no debate somewhere else.
Where specifically?
Anyway, have you ever heard of
curvy sword country?
Have you ever heard of North Korean debate?
No. That's just
Russian debate.
Because they're forced to vote for...
French debate.
They just got one guy.
No,
France has debates.
Yeah, England has debates.
I've heard nothing about any other country's politics. That's what being an American is.
Well, I'll tell you a thing that sets America apart, which I think is a good thing. We can mock all these fucking people because England, it's illegal. You couldn't have a Daily Show in England. You're not allowed to make fun of politicians there. That's
exactly.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
You're allowed to make fun of politicians.
You're
there.
totally allowed.
On TV, they cannot do that.
There's a long history of making fun of politicians in England.
Look it up if you don't believe me. I know he believes I know anything. But go ahead and look it up if you don't believe me.
You
Free speech is a very uniquely American thing. It really is.
Yes.
Even in Canada, where they have those human rights commissions, the head of that was like, well, somebody was talking about free speech that they sued. I think a comedian. And she's like, well, that's an American thing. And it kind of is. We have the freest
that's what I'm saying. There's certain
here.
jobs and debate. I was like, what?
I can't imagine being, like I said last week with North Korea, the torture, I mean, besides the starving, but I think I'd be in the where you get to have some shit people. I don't feel I would be in the starving people.
I love how you only care about things you figure out where you would fall and then decide if
I
you're
have to
care or
relate
not.
to people, We
had, in Egypt, the last free election, we had two of the top nominees. They did a debate, and both of them lost. Like anybody who ever did a
No one
debate.
won the debate?
Yeah, whoever didn't do a debate or talk on TV
always would win?
won. Yeah.
How now? Did you like Morsi when he was in?
No,
Now, what was bad about him, and what like?
he's a brotherhood.
Yeah, well, I don't. You know, I've heard alternating things about them, where it's like one, they're the fucking.
He works at NASA. Sorry to bring it up, but
Mohammed
There
Morsi.
are people that work at NASA.
Yeah, he does work at NASA.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was a professor at NASA.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like
he's
he's
very
a
smart.
Muslim Brotherhood.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in the Muslim Brotherhood.
Now
so-
Dave's starting to make sense. It's all coming together.
How did I forget that?
I just don't like how the Muslim Brotherhood sounds like an enemy of the X-Men, and that's why I can't trust them.
Kurt, you're wrong about England.
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, no, I mean
What's
they've
the
had,
law about not? They have some kind of law about that.
all right, I'll keep looking, but I'm telling you that they have freedom of the press and freedom of speech. That's like who we stole it from.
There's a thing about politicians, though. I'm not
Is
making
it
it
something
up.
related to the fact that they like it's like the BBC and the government funds television, so maybe there's some small thing
I
they're
don't
not
know.
allowed to do?
I'm gonna Google it.
They have the
I
thing in the
don't know.
park where you can just stand every Sunday and you can say whatever you want on the on.
Where?
the-
Where
I
is that?
feel like they have it. France has it.
It's
Canada
called,
mostly has it. It's not uniquely American. I
It's
feel.
like a big.
The UK
tourist
is
thing.
known around the world for its respect for and tolerance of free speech. This
Okay,
is
hold on.
from-
Here's Daily Show banned in the UK.
and
so
then
this
you
is gonna
also have
explain it. Listen,
Scandinavian countries have
There's
it.
even on John Oliver. They're talking about in Canada had a thing that you could non-Canadians. You get like a $5,000 fine to tell people not to vote.
Yeah.
For a Canadian guy, and they're as British as it comes. So I'm telling you something. Hold on.
Speaker's Corner.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Here's the specific thing. Parliamentary footage cannot be used in any satirical programming. You could insult Parliament as much as possible, but praise on a
Can we
satirical
talk
show is
about
illegal.
space again? This is boring.
I don't know. I like British Parliament. That where it's like a roast. That's my favorite thing.
Oh,
They
those
just
are
make
fun.
a point, goes, and everybody goes, "Oh, come on!" That sounds like the best. And I like their Law and Order. Have you ever seen British Law? When I was over there, I was watching Law and Order.
They have Law and Order?
It's just like ours, except when they get to the order part, they all wear wigs.
Yeah. And there's no guns.
Yeah,
There's
it's
less guns.
There's less guns, and then they get to court, and everybody
See,
has a
for
wig.
us, we have the law, but we don't have order.
It just goes right to curvy sword.
Right? Yeah.
Get that girl's head off for not being a good 9-year-old bride.
Law and Order episode there is 10 minutes.
Is Egypt? Wait, so you didn't like Morsi, right?
Nope.
And do you like this other guy? What's his name? Cece?
CC, yeah, I do.
Why does everybody have to have a fucking pizza? Why do they have to have a pizza chain name? It's Cece's Pizza. Why is it always
What about why don't you make fun of Netanyahu?
I have before, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about him other than
By his
I don't-
name.
My whole thing is
What's
like, why?
his name?
How dare he say anything to Obama? Like he's giving us money. Like,
Yeah,
what are you giving us billions a year, motherfucker?
I come here talking to the
Pull your
Congress.
fucking thing back if we say to. By the way, doesn't Hatem look like the handsomeness of like he guards a mummy? He's been keeping this brotherhood alive for thousands of years.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
knows about mummies and,
And
the truth.
I feel like you look a little bit like Ric Flair,
A little bit.
right?
Where are you from, Dave?
I usually get Mel Gibson,
Dave looks
no,
like
you don't
Ric
like
Flair.
Mel Gibson. I'm more of a Ric Flair. Where are you from?
Connecticut.
Oh,
I can
Hearts
see Mel-
unknown.
I can see Mel Gibson.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he can be. Yeah.
Well, I guess they both are like Vatican I flat earthers.
I
so.
just like, I'm going
That's
to
not fucking.
like the best thing about Dave, he puts numbers in everything, so it sounds very like
Yeah.
he did the research, you know.
That's what Ann
So I
Coulter
like that.
does. You try to argue with Ann Coulter?
543 times I watched. You know, that's I like that. I'm gonna use
Dude,
it.
I tried to argue Ann Coulter. I'm like, you know what? I guess these illegals are raping everyone. Caitlin, what's the next story?
Glamour magazine is we think that they're gonna name Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year. They'll announce that November 3rd.
The greatest thing that's ever happened.
Everyone is freaking out about it.
Why are they freaking? By the way, who gives a shit with these I've never understood caring what any magazine, because they always get mad whenever it's a person of the year of any kind. Like, never mind woman of the year.
Yeah.
Just like they'll pick like I remember didn't they have like a Osama bin Laden or just somebody? People are like out. Oh, the Boston bomber.
Boston Bomber, yeah.
And people are like like it's just based on how interesting you are. I mean that could be good or bad.
Yeah.
And also, who gives a fucking shit that a magazine said someone's interesting?
What some feminists are saying is Nicole Russell writes that by choosing Caitlyn Jenner as the Woman of the Year, Glamour endorses the idea that men are better at being women than women are.
Oh, that's my favorite. I love the rad femme hatred of transgenders.
And didn't Men's Fitness pick a transgender of Man of the Year?
Yeah, I think so.
Who was it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it's good that they're kind of expanding their idea, what their idea used to be of what a woman is allowed to be. Like, I don't know the facts are on this, but like, I wonder when Glamour even ever let like a non-white woman be on their.
This is all part of the agenda to keep us away from God. They want to destroy the family, destroy gender.
Us men, us.
Don't you think gender? Now, here's my position, because listen. I'll call you a woman if you read as a woman to me. I mean, I'll call you it anyway to be nice, but just in my heart. You know, when I'm looking at you, even if I'm...
Are you looking at me as a woman? Is that what you're saying?
I could if we got to know each other.
Nothing wrong with that.
But there shouldn't just be two fucking genders. I mean, people are on a spectrum. So because we have two and you got to cram everybody into one or the other, that's how you get this ridiculous fight.
Doesn't the Bible say God created man and created woman and he didn't create, a bunch in between? I don't
believe NASA, but you believe the Bible.
Wait, listen, of course it says that, but I mean, I'm not into Genesis like that.
Well, there's also the difference between sex and gender. You could be born male or female, and that is your sex. But then we've created what gender is. We've created what...
But when did that become official? And I'm not even saying you're wrong, but when did that become official? Because I remember that always being used as a name for sex. Like, is that like how critical race theory is a thing? Critical race theory is like, it's not, but like, we're usually like black people can't be racist or whatever shit. And that's like kind of a new thing. Which I'm not even saying that's wrong, but I'm just saying it's a new thing. Like, is that a new thing, or was that always the textbook definition of it, right? And then just now, we all had it wrong.
But looking back, like it's. I don't see why it matters when the theory came along. I don't even think that it's a theory, but like looking back at just over time, the way that genders have been forced to represent themselves, or generally speaking, the way that women have
So
been.
do you say it's more? It's really prescriptive and not descriptive. These genders. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about, Tom? Here, get on the Goldstein.
That
mic.
what is?
The genders. See, here's the thing. There's a lot of shit, especially being from an Abraham religion.
Sure.
That's straight up like some kind of fucking amazing oppression of, to this day. I said this last week, Jehovah's Witnesses have the biggest settlement for child abuse of not the Catholic Church, Jehovah's Witnesses. And it wasn't even by a guy who was like an elder or something. It was just a guy in the congregation. But what they did was they're like, we're going to handle this in-house and not go to the cops. And that's why they got the judgment against them. And that shit is so ingrained, that Mosaic law shit of if you don't scream, you wanted it, right? Like, in sex crimes, like there's a chance you're culpable in it in those religions, and it's still in there to this fucking day. Do you know what I mean? So that's an example of I think a clear cut prescriptive thing. But I don't think all of these things are just someone like, oh, we're gonna keep them down. I think some of this shit just naturally grew out of men kill each other, and there wasn't that much civilization to make them not. And of course, the smaller creature is going to be, you're the weaker sex, and you have the babies and shit.
That the angry man.
Wait, what are you going to say, Tommy?
Well, I think it definitely is prescriptive, and you can look. They've done studies. So I used to teach a class at a high school through a rape crisis center, and one of the activities we would do with each class is we would show them 2 pictures of the same baby. One was wrapped in a pink blanket, one was wrapped in a blue blanket, and then you would have the kids describe the babies, project what the babies' lives were going to be like, what their careers were going to be. I mean, and from the start, the language is so gendered, and that is prescriptive.
Right.
That's thrust on them. So,
right.
But you ask if this is new. I think the way we discuss gender, and sort of as a binary, and moving beyond the binary, that's maybe newer. But if you look at indigenous cultures,
they always had. You're right. You're right.
And
they always had that. You're
North
right
America,
about that.
But also in Polynesian
no, that was good
countries.
luck to have a kind of like a bi
you
or
have
like
a
a
special
he she. That was real good
in
luck.
The tribe or in your community, and I think that it was celebrated. So I'm curious what the transgender agenda looks like and who.
The transgender?
well, who they are, because I don't know how many trans people you know, but
I know
that they're
how it works.
identifying out of their personal identification. Like they're not assigning, they're not subscribing to some larger agenda.
Listen,
so I wonder how many people you're talking to.
Depending on how hot you came out, because Bailey J. Did you meet
we
her?
talked about this last time. It's about how early you start the hormones.
That Parker Malloy, who's that activist, Bailey helped her transition and shit, and then Parker Malloy was condemning her too and shit. Like she kind of created a Frankenstein, but I think it's because Parker didn't come out as hot, and that just being hot or not hot, never mind your male female racial, you're sexy or not sexy is such the ultimate like delineation
about whether or not you're like easily accepted or
yeah
not.
I mean the bottom line, that's like even when they talk about, because you were texting me a thing about if men yell versus women yell, but like they always say in juries.
Yeah, so the way that they simulated this was an online game where they had 260, I think, college students who were presented evidence, and then they were assigned to be members of this like virtual jury, and then they were engaging in a chat room with a robot that was programmed, and it either had the name Alicia or the name Jason, but it was pre-programmed with identical responses.
Right.
It programmed to be angry, like capital letters, "This is so frustrating!" exclamation points, etc. And the guy, Jason, the fake robot computer, convinced 19% of college kids to change their mind based on their anger.
This is what bugs me with this shit.
And the Alicia convinced 0 people.
Yeah, for number one, online, first red flag of this fucking study. Number two, it's all college kids. I mean, they really got to stop sampling.
That's most psychological surveys and studies.
But college kids are a huge swath of people. They're creating a lot of what digital and
but
online
they're jerk
culture
offs,
is.
and I'll bet you a bunch of like remember they go. What was the percentage of college men that were like rape is fine? They did a study.
Yeah, but
you think they're going to take you seriously?
But that affects people. If you can't
You
just
think
say
they're
like
not fucking with a study because they're jerk off college kids? Like that's my first thing. Like if somebody goes, "Will you fill out this thing?" and how do you? I'm like, I remember being in college and whatever. Like, rape is good. Like I could just see being a dick to fuck this up, and so it's a shitty. By the way,
I think you're a unique unicorn.
no, yeah, well, thank you.
They've been doing this for a long time. They they've
And it's always a
statistical
fucking
models that
it's always taken as scripture by some fucking lefty. This is when the joke thing came out about how what was the fucking term they used about it was like not derogatory humor to something humor. It was the study of that dippy that girl Voldemort that want to get me fired sent me this study. And it's like they're not Bible people, so they got to have something that's scripture. So it's again a jerk off study that somebody had already had their idea of what was what. Asked a couple of jerk off college kids, and they're like the joke. They would ask them like, "Here's the study." It was like you had to decide whether to fund like a woman's group on campus, and they would tell you, "Oh, disparagement humor." So they would tell you stock blonde jokes. And then afterwards, see your propensity to sign off on.
But look at these numbers. Look at this spread. Okay, so Jason's passion led to 19% less confidence among participants.
What is Jason's passion? See, this is
no. So this is the capital letters and the exclamation
point. What does that mean?
So they gave examples like this is so.
Did they hear him or was this?
No. This is all typing. There's no. This is so it's all chat room.
That is even less than the. You told me
you just have a name. No, I sent you the whole thing.
Jason's passion is crafting.
Right, no, but listen to this spread, though, okay? So Jason being upset with the exact same words, all right, led to people being 19% less confident in their opinion, whereas Alicia's passion, same words, just the name Alicia, it's the only difference, led to 13% more confidence. Right? So if you're faced with a character, a fake robot on the screen named Jason saying like, I think you're wrong, you're 19% more likely to doubt yourself. Whereas if a female character says exactly the same
Alicia
fucking thing,
sounds like
you
a
feel
whore.
more confident in your response.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Kurt, you're upset.
This is college children.
Yeah,
like,
but,
you
Kurt,
get to, wait,
but
you
it's
tell me.
not a thing.
Kurt, you sound like Dave right now. You sound like you're like they faked the. Who is even doing this?
I don't
study?
think it's a fucking
Who
thing.
won
That
show me
means a
the
thing.
study. Show me what happened.
Okay, I thought that there was people like they were listening, and I was like, well, nobody.
Because you don't read the things I send
Yeah,
you.
well, can you blame me? Nobody wants to hear a woman yell at all. At all. I mean,
See,
not at all.
that's the point.
Yeah, but if you were like Kurt, you're on fire, I would put aside.
That's not
I would
anger.
put aside
It's in
that you're
relation to a
but
man.
but what is your definition of righteous anger? I'm not reading what these things are. Number one, and number two, I don't really trust fucking college kids online as a reliable fucking measure. I don't.
And that's
every one of these studies
that's a
that's supposed to
systemic
be
problem
gospel.
of psychological studies, and you're absolutely right. Using
that's all
Western
I'm
college
saying.
kids between the ages of
But
18
look,
and 22.
I know a bunch
is
of jerk offs that would listen. I've seen I'm not doubting any kind of sexist. I know every kind of jerk off that says a sexist thing or whatever. I'm just saying these kids, and it's a virtual jury online. I do like.
I don't think it was online. It was kids out of college who were brought.
This was an online. This was an online thing.
They were doing it on computers, but I don't think they were invited online.
No.
Like, they came into and got
yeah,
briefed about what the
their
study was
psychology
gonna be.
101 professor was
Yeah.
sit down and do this.
Do you know the famous Milgram
Yes.
experiment? They got a movie about it now where
Mm-hmm.
people would turn the shock up and they would tell them just do the experiment, and they would fucking. I want to do a sketch where like Amy just comes in, just immediately turns it to 11 with no,
and then walks out.
walks out. The people that were in the experiment, half the people turned the knob up were like, yeah, I know the guy wasn't really. Like they were onto the thing and faked it. Also, the supposed who's that guy? Z. It begins with a Z. Zimbardo.
The Zimbardo prison experiment.
Where he did the prison experiment?
Yeah.
The guy that was in prison, like, yeah, he wanted us to do that. And I was playing up. I didn't have a hillbilly accent when I came in. Like, he wanted to see a thing. This is why I don't trust this shit. And those are things that I got taught in school that they show the nature of evil. No, I don't. They show nature of bullshit.
But what about when you have women that you believe are smart and are telling you that these are our experiences?
100% I believe that. But this is a different thing. Like, if you put that people in a jury... Like, hey, we acted this out with people in a jury and they had to do a thing. That's a little different than, because I don't know what the way the article starts is they were talking about Atticus Finch. Who was the other people? It was all people from movies.
Yeah, they're an example of like righteous anger being motivating or being persuasive.
I've heard a lot of dudes, depending on your political leanings, like... dudes with righteous anger, I haven't heard people like just, oh, he's a man, I agree. Like, if you're like too liberal or something, like, fuck you. Like, if you're Sean Penn with your righteous anger, they go, shut the fuck up.
No, but that's an extreme example.
Look,
I think generally speaking, when men raise their voices, they're seen as more confident and like
people
passionate.
Listen.
Because
when women raise their voices,
they're too emotional and should be dismissed.
Listen, absolutely. This was not any voices. They were reading a thing off the screen.
That's what they're saying is if you have the perception in your mind that it's a woman that's quote unquote yelling at you through the screen, you're like, oh, this is just a hysterical woman screaming.
Right.
But if you're seeing a man's name attached to quote unquote yelling, you're like, oh, he must know what he's talking about.
Okay, but this is a no stakes. This is not a jury where someone's on trial for their life, which is what they're simulating. This is a thing online. So already you know no one's affected this. Secondly, you're a 19-year-old jerk-off kid who probably just got out of your mom's house.
I think this would happen if you did it with 40-year-old men.
Yeah.
I'm 100%
I think you're more
sure.
likely to get in trouble for being ugly in court, which is a study they do about people are more likely to think you're guilty if you're ugly. I'm telling you, if you have a point, you have a point. Now, what's an example of righteous anger from a woman where she's yelling and it's like she wasn't listened to and we missed out on an important thing? Like, what is the... Because that's what you told me.
Kitty Genovese.
Right. So, like, imagine, I'm sure you've had this experience in a writer's room.
That's
she
a
was
fucking...
screaming.
That media story was blown up. There's a book about it. That was actually a sensationalized story. Of course, a bunch of people did not do that. And that's in fucking pop culture. I can't remember the name of the book, but it'll tell you all about how they fucking...
So, wait, what's not true?
That all
she
the
was
people
raped
just
and
watched
murdered?
her... No, that all the people just watched her get raped and she called for help and nobody did anything. Absolutely not fucking true. In fact, I think someone did try to help. Look, but get the book. There's a book all about it that somebody gave me on this other show I did.
If you Google alive after her name, she's like alive.
I didn't say she didn't
runs
get,
a preschool.
Listen, I'm not saying she didn't get raped and murdered. I'm saying the story was this was in that superhero movie Watchmen.
Yeah.
Where Rorschach was inspired because all the people just watched from an alley and didn't call the police or do anything. That's the part that I'm saying is a media fabrication. The murder absolutely did happen, but listen, there's that thing to look up.
I think but
that wasn't because a woman was
But
screaming.
you could look at statistics even just
so.
that indicate that like bystander intervention is something that doesn't
But that's
happen.
more of a bystander thing than like it was a woman, as opposed to it being a woman victim.
Look, I gotta look
like
at it
there are 30
again.
other people here.
I agree.
I gotta look at it again, but I think it might even be so false that someone actually did attempt something. But
I mean, I've never heard that.
I know it's not
interested
coming
to read
up.
the book. I think tweet it out tomorrow. I'd be interested.
No,
to
Kitty
read it.
Genovese is a famous thing, and there's a bunch of I mean that. Look, Dave believes all the crazy things, but there are things you can find out that turn, and especially with journalism, that was a real sensation. Same thing with bra burning.
What we were talking about.
I'm just telling you this college kid thing. I don't think it proves like a whole lot other than young men are maybe jerk offs, which we knew that.
Well,
you know?
maybe they are. Okay, so let's say they're jerk
You think
offs.
most men mature into being able to hear women?
When do you think?
I can listen. I absolutely can hear women, but I know the different. Listen, when you say righteous anger, this is the thing that makes me laugh. Like, what are we calling righteous anger here? If it's some of this shit, like blah, 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 that fucking it ain't righteous anger. I've seen a lot of women shouting. Lewis nodding his head.
Within.
Oh, you know I was doing a black girl impression. I've seen a lot of shit that's supposed to be righteous anger. That's just blathering. But I've never seen anybody being happy about it. Oh, he's great. You're afraid a man might attack you physically, so you might respect it a little more. But as a guy who's lost his temper a lot, I have an experience like, that Kurt's right.
I would argue, just let me throw this, but let me just.
Why would a woman be able to shout like a man? Like, you can't beat me up. Why would I be afraid of you losing your temper at me the way I would a man? I'm just asking.
I don't. Well, first of all, I don't think that's the issue about fear. I think it's the issue of when a woman raises her voice, she's in the same way a man does, she's more easily written off as
irrational.
That's right, because I'm afraid of you.
It's not.
But you understand? It is about fear. The only reason that you're at a disadvantage or this, it's not that
so we
women
mean
are,
that you're physically unsafe.
Though I think how we got to all this shit with women, it's not women are dumber or incapable of doing shit. You're smaller than a man, so the natural way it had been for thousands of years. Well, I'll dominate you, women and children.
No, but let's say we're arguing about something and I'm really angry and I want to raise my voice.
Right.
What?
But you're not angry at you're just.
I'm not
you think
angry
you're right.
at you. We're talking
about you're having a passionate
rape
debate.
in the military or something, and I'm like getting worked up.
And I'm for it, as we know.
But what? So are you saying that we shouldn't be able to raise our voices?
No, I'm saying. Listen, I'm saying I could. I don't know if you. I mean, do you feel like that you could distinguish an important thing versus a woman just yet? This is very vague to me. Where I'm hearing righteous anger.
Wait, first,
I didn't read what they said that people are saying.
I'm sorry. So let me just posit a possibility that when you're saying I've heard women scream, I've never heard a man scream, and people say this. It's possible that you can't delineate in your mind differentiate an example of when you've heard a man scream. You might just be used to the way that men talk and
Well, we should narrow it down more. The thing they were talking about with righteous anger, the examples again was To Kill a Mockingbird. What was the other thing?
It doesn't.
They're all fictitious. Oh, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. That's arousing. And, and I might be a snowflake with this because I never gave a shit about that speech. Oh, that guy's right. I'm going to shout out of my window. But they're giving fictitious characters as the example.
Here's what it is.
Satire.
When,
so you're starting from
the perception from people, both men and women in this study, is that when a man is upset, it's because of external circumstances. So there's a reason for him to be upset. Mm-hmm. Whereas if a woman is upset, it has to do with her internal shit, like daddy issues, or period, or whatever.
Absolutely, there's a tendency towards that.
She's
Listen,
unstable.
Right.
But the man is smart and he gets issues.
He gets it, and he's probably mad for a really good reason.
No, but that's an absolute tendency of that. I'm not denying that at all. But a lot of times, it's some internal shit. But men also, see, the unfairness is men will also do that. We'll say, based on internal shit, fucking, if you, we're talking about, at work, we're talking about incel. You know what an incel is? No. Guys that are involuntary celibate.
Oh, okay.
And they're mad and I can't get them. Oh, fucking, on your podcast, told me. A fucking guy wrote to them. They have me and my girlfriend who have a spin-off podcast called Crass to Mouth. And a guy, what did he say? How did he call you cunts?
And subscribe, Crass to Mouth on iTunes.
But how did he call you cunts for? What did he say? You guys
holes or I don't know.
He goes, listen, I got a question for you cunts.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not good at talking to women.
Fix it.
I can't get women like me. That's he was so thrilled they answered him. But these are dudes just to be bitter about that you can't get laid. That's like that Elliot Rodgers kid, which was a fucking such a remember how that was it's an example of how Seth Rogen gets the girl in a movie, and this kid was off this kid was fucking batshit, but his thing was he would never settle for less than his imaginary blonde. California, whatever horse shit of California that's wrong with LA, that's his standard, and he should get that. The ultimate, he would say, I'm magnificent. Look, I watched his whole video. He goes, I don't understand with you. I'm magnificent. Look at these sunglasses.
I just want to point out one thing. Everything you're saying about Elliot Rodgers, you got from the mainstream media.
Oh. Well,
everything.
You know what?
And he had a I think it was a 23 or 33 page manifesto. They come up with these Illuminati
Dave,
numbers.
Hold on. Before we get to that, because honestly, I'm not even sure what me and Nang are arguing about at this point. I'm not. And I forgot to bring you around this study. I don't know why I didn't go to the expert.
Okay.
This study of what's the gist of the study? Just and sum it up for
this study that you feel so passionately about.
All right.
I just don't feel strong. Anything where they sampled college kids online, I'm like, that's not shit. But and by the way, 20-year-old kids are jerk offs and they think of women. Remember, it used to be how come guys can't be friends? Or remember that? We talk about that when we did the Milady sketch.
Yeah.
And you were talking, and I guess that must have happened to you a lot, where some guy saw the beauty only in you, and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking nut. Remember that whole conversation?
Yeah.
And they like, you've had guys where they're like, oh, I'm not gonna be your friend.
Yeah,
right?
but then those men grow older and stay the same and become in charge of everything.
Now, were they all in improv class? Were they all in improv class?
No.
Or were they just?
No, it started young.
Well, young I get, because when you're a kid, you don't know how to. Because
it seems because when you're saying things like you're going on about like I don't trust these young college kids. It's kind of like
I don't trust these studies like they're scripted.
It's like, come on, how much more information do you need? It's like, okay, here's this study, and it's like, okay, college kids. No, can't be college kids. Give me something else. All right, and then there's just like how much fucking evidence do you need?
Because I would assume, first of all, just the fact that it's online and it's college kids, like I kind of don't believe
online.
You told me that.
It wasn't that they were online. They were
so
on.
Go ahead. So it's college kids that are randomly sampled, and the way that they do this in psychology 101 classes are always taking these fucking surveys, right? So they've got a group of kids who on a computer they watched testimony, opening statements, like a little mini trial.
So wait, they did hear footage.
Yes, they heard. No, not yes.
They heard, but they heard like the man yelling versus the woman. No.
So these are robot people. The Jason character and the Alicia character
on the jury with you.
Are on the jury with you,
not members of the case. They're
on
not
a
like
chat
lawyers
room.
or anything.
And what's
like
the case about?
I don't know.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
So it's not like you just go online and
kind
do
of
it.
a little bit.
I mean, no, it's like if the thing is that this the Jason character, which is a robot, or the Alicia character, which is a robot, disagrees with it. They're in groups of 5. Disagrees. They're grouped with like 4 real people that believe one way, and they're playing the dissenter. And their name is either Jason or Alicia, and they're making the same exact arguments with the same punctuation. Right. And so 20% of the Jason people changed their fucking mind. They saw the same evidence. The male convinced them.
What percent of for the female again?
0. In fact, her saying the same thing that Jason did only reinforced the belief of the people that disagreed with her. They were like, "Oh, this woman's upset, and we disagree with her because she's crazy."
Okay, so this is a better thing. Like, what was the news here? Somebody wants to hear a woman yell less than a man. Is that really what you're?
No, it's that it's somebody who disagrees with you,
right?
And they're upset, or they feel self-righteous because they feel like they're right and you're wrong. They're not mad at you. It's not like you cheated on me. It's more like, no, I believe that we need more funding. It's like those kinds of arguments.
Wow, you know what's weird?
Self-righteous anger.
I 20% more believe in my own point now somehow. Jesus. Yeah, listen.
So an angry, self-righteously angry dude is more persuasive to everyone,
yes,
men and women.
But why is that a news flash? I don't understand it.
This is a study that
tried to
isolate.
You think a woman yelling has the force of a guy yelling? You just think that? Just based on you. Listen, if a
female CEO is like, I'm unhappy with the numbers, and a male CEO is like, I'm unhappy with the numbers, they're both saying the same fucking thing.
How many female CEOs do you know?
I don't have a job.
Because I know a couple.
I agree, Caitlin. I believe that our entire society will listen to a man more than they will in a woman in a situation like that. You know, there are certain things that people will listen to women more so, but if it's equally based just like that,
I guess we don't even disagree.
You're not. I watch you guys. You guys argue about shit you agree on.
No, you know what it is? Because
the entire show that I was on watching you guys last week when I stepped in.
I think it's possible.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, okay, maybe fine, you're right. Yeah, and that's what the studies like that prove, but I think studies like that are only to help people
become more aware of that.
Look at themselves and like really examine like the things that they're putting on women or they're putting on men and think twice when they're having a reaction like, oh God, she's just being emotional, and then it's like shit. And I think,
and we've been trained, we've been programmed. It's so easy to program people by television, television and movies, and just stereotypes, and we're programmed from that from birth.
I know.
And from my experience, I think cops believe women more than.
No, they're just trying to get laid.
Speaking of which,
but I mean, yeah.
You guys want the third news story?
Oh, yes. Let's do the third news story.
What if a girl's yelling at you with a Philadelphia accent?
Now,
let's hear it. So, Officer Ben Fields in Columbia, South Carolina, roughed up a 16-year-old student who refused to leave class and lost her mom a week ago. The original dispute was over the student refusing to put her cell phone away. The police officer was called. She refused to lose her seat, so he body slammed her and dragged her across the ground.
No, we all came to the video. Hold on one second. I'm going to put Sherrod on. because Sherrod's calling in, and because he called in just in time for this story. We almost had no black anything to talk about this.
Finally.
Sherrod, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, how's the pilot going?
Oh, it was great. We just finished, man. That shit went terrifically.
Okay. Well, right now we got Dave back. Okay.
Hey,
Conspiracy
man.
Dave. Okay, we got Christine Nangle, aka Philly Girl, here, and then we got Hot Tim as spare Sherrod today. And then, Hot Tim is here, and Caitlin just brought up the South Carolina student body slam. I mean, I haven't not since WrestleMania have I seen that fine of a body slam. I mean, she really could heal that girl. Now, So, Sherrod, do you know the story?
Yes. I saw the girl. Apparently, the girl wouldn't get out of the class, and then they called the security or the cop for her, and then he tried to I saw that she did swing on him when he was grabbing for her, but it was the same time. That dude was extra violent.
Well, you know what's funny? She already
also
answered
grown
my.
up.
She answered my question of. I was like, why didn't they call the girl's mom first?
She'd been in foster care for about a week. She lost her mother a week ago.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. Now I'm totally on board that you probably didn't have to come to a body slamming.
Thank you.
Sherrod, what are you doing?
Yeah. I was just saying bye to my my makeup and barber dude and my wardrobe girl.
Oh my goodness! Well,
that makes for good radio.
Relatable.
Listen,
that's
because
so relatable.
the cop did get fired, and then and also the other thing is he has a history of supposedly he has a history of complaints.
2 pending lawsuits.
So what's the story on it? Is he being
He's
charged?
fired.
He's already been
he's fired. Okay.
Now, but this is my question because I'm with you. You should not have. I think we all agree, right? You probably shouldn't have body slammed her in her desk.
And get the other kids out of the room. It's like you still putting other kids in danger too, but just being in the room. It's irresponsible.
Well, that's a good point. But okay, so that's what I'm getting to. Like, what was the right way to handle it? We all know that body slam. But
I would have just called. I would have just got the other kids away from the situation, and then if you really want to arrest her, I would have arrested her.
So no witnesses is your answer.
The other kids out of the
That's smart though, dude. How come and I didn't understand why they had called the cops so quickly, but I'm like, he's just like cop.
He's just the campus cop.
Yeah.
We had one.
It's kind of. I look at that kind of situation like when there's all those kids.
I could tell he wasn't a city cop. I could tell he was a campus police officer.
Yeah, what is it with like campus police where they really want to fucking get some action, like hardcore? Because you don't have to.
They want to be seen as a regular cop because all day people call him a mall cop and Paul Bart, nigga. So they want to.
Yeah, they want to be like regular cops and beat up black people.
Paul Blart would never have done something like that. He had a Spanish mixed race daughter, sir. Yeah,
it's kind of the way I look at it is like it happened. It happened in front of like all the other students, and it's like. When we talk about the Iraq war being like a total fucking disaster and like just creating more terrorists or creating more Al Qaeda, I'm like, you're only creating more like activists and more people that are like not going to trust cops.
Did you guys find it?
Matter just tripled their membership over that video.
Exactly.
Did you find it odd that the other students just sat there and didn't flinch?
No.
They just
they taped it. A student taped it.
They froze. They were fucking terrified. And if they moved, they would have been next.
Well, I didn't know this. Yeah, go ahead. What did you say, Sean?
One girl did move. One girl did try to help her, and she got arrested as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the person who filmed it got arrested.
Yep.
I thought I read.
Yeah. They're not dumb.
All right,
they
listen.
know.
You never should body slam a black woman, okay? Because that's why tasers were invented.
Are we calling her a black woman? I mean, okay.
Listen, for somebody who body slammed many a woman, black and white, I can say this.
Yeah, you still got the belt.
Yeah, I got the belt for it. Babies too, aborted babies too. I body slam everybody.
So did he get fired because of what he did, or because he got filmed?
No,
I mean, the chief was like, "Yeah, you can't do that."
First he was suspended without pay.
But he had history, right? Of doing the same thing.
Look, this is my because I've seen the argument of she like should have because there is I mean, not that that's excused, but there is a thing of like, hey, you got to put your phone away, and I'm like, nope, okay, go to the office. Well, I'm not going, and then they go, all right, I'm getting the principal, I'm not going, and you're like. What do we do? And you can't show weakness in front of the kids.
Listen, if you're a campus cop, you call the police. You get the other kids out of away from that because somebody could have threw something and hit another kid in the face. And now you got lawsuits going.
Wait, you think the city police want to deal with a 16-year-old who won't put her phone away?
I think it's just to back your own ass up and not. Yeah. And also,
if you like the case, you can take it. That's not a police officer. Not just if you like the case, then you can go and take it.
But you know what? I didn't know her mom because I was reading about the girl because the girl's not. I guess she was supposedly like a quiet. I thought it was like some kind of when I first read the
like a troublemaker.
Well, I was reading Kumail. Kumail's in a tweet argument What? Oh, K-Bar. Hold on. K-Bar is coming in on the mic.
Yes.
K-Bar, the 5%er, friend of ours.
Yes.
K-Bar, nice of you to wake from your nap.
Hello. No, I've been up the whole time.
I know.
I can't hear anything. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. My question is this.
Yeah.
Didn't the teacher, when the cops started doing this, you never saw the teacher jump up and like say, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
As far as I know, the teacher and the principal, who's a black guy, backed up that cop.
But my question is this: if it was that bad that an officer came in and body slammed her, you never saw the teacher get in there and say, "Oh, there's a problem. Oh, you don't do that. I know she's being disruptive." How disruptive was she being?
This is, you know what this is?
From her
No, you know what this is? This is someone getting punked out by. There's an authority thing here where it's like, oh my God, now I'm having weakness in front of the others if this girl doesn't just do what I say.
Yeah.
So then in this weightlifting comp's mind, it's like, well, I can't have somebody define me, right? And there's no thought in his head of like a psychology or anything. It was, I'm going to give you this order and you're going to do it. Now, technically, she just do what she's told. But if all this shit just happened in her fucking life, you might want to take a smarter tack. If you were told to leave the room, you should. I mean, it would never have occurred to me not to leave the room. But clearly this girl was going through some shit. And if you're the fucking teacher and you know that, it's weird to me. There's no like understanding or Sherrod's suggestion. Like if it is that bad, because you cannot have a kid punk you out in front of the whole fucking class. So what you just said, Sherrod, get them out of the room, get everybody out of the room, so they're not being traumatized. You know, what'd you say? And then you know, I don't see why he had to do like. I think the guy wanted to show off his fucking strength training or something with his.
He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed, and his feelings got hurt. And
that's exactly it. He got what he did.
Girl on the ground.
Yeah.
She's I don't think it matters what's going on in her life or what she did yesterday.
Wait, Mango, finish your point. She's a child. So what are you saying?
I said it got. Well, Sherrod's talking too.
No, go ahead, baby.
I don't think it should matter what's going on in her life or what she did yesterday. Like she's a kid, and he should be bigger than that. And he should not.
We should not body slam her 100%.
The question is this:
Yeah.
If that was your child, what would you do?
Well,
no. That's the question. If that was your child,
and you saw someone,
if that was your child who got body slammed, what would you say and do?
I'll tell you what my parents would have done. My parents, if they found out I didn't just do what I was told, they would have told me I deserved it. I'm telling you, my parents.
Hold on. Are you saying you deserve to be body slammed?
No, but I'm just telling you my parents would have done.
No. As a child,
you're not. No. You don't deserve to be body slammed.
No parent is going to sit here and say my child deserved to be body slammed, and they did nothing physically to that cop. Ain't no parent gonna say that.
He says she took a swing at him.
No, after he had her in the chokehold.
They said they have it on tape. But listen, 100%.
All that's on the tape.
Listen, I'm not signing. When I lived down south, the schools were still spanking kids. And your parents would sign a permission slip so the principal could hit, and he had a paddle if you were bad. That
was happening. That happened in my elementary school in Pennsylvania in the 70s.
Yeah,
that was still allowed.
My parents were so thrilled that they had good old fashioned, not sparing the rod,
corporal punishment.
They were so like, finally, someone's doing it right.
Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not for that.
I know, but listen, you don't have kids. But if a dog groomer treated your dog like that, you would lose it.
That's a good point.
Way, I will fucking be on death row for capital murder. You fucking touch my pit bull mix? I don't think so, man. I'll come over there.
Welcome back.
He would lose and he would kill the groomer.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's for a dog.
Are you saying black people are dogs?
What was the right?
Imagine you had a kid.
Well, what was the? No, you're 100% right. What do you think is what would have been the right way to get her out, or what was the thing to
whatever his fucking training is? It's not our fucking job as comics to think about it.
Yeah, what is his training?
Violence to get out of the classroom. Yeah, later. I'm on live in the air right now.
What do they? What do they train? First of all, I didn't have school cops either. I was just like, I guess in a carefree time when we didn't have like a cop in the school.
I think actually my brother's a teacher and we've talked about this. Like the first thing is if you think that they're a threat to other students, you get those other students out of the room.
I think that's a good point.
And like you were saying, like this is actually considering what she's been through the past week. You get the other students out of the room and just be like,
what's up?
Then deal with her.
Deal with her, or get out of the room yourself. Give her 5 fucking minutes to calm down.
And wait for call the police.
Yeah.
Call the parents.
Yeah.
If they did that, she'd be dead.
My question is this.
Yeah.
From the video, she didn't appear that she was wilding out.
No, she was.
If she's
No.
not
She
wild,
looks
so
stubborn.
This
but
is a
not
straight
volatile.
up. Listen, this is a straight up Old South. I mean, I'm not even saying racial. This is straight up. You do. If I say you do, it's
do
an
it,
authority.
yeah.
In my dumb school in Jersey, we had this thing about not having your hat on inside,
Yeah.
which I don't know. So it's
I-
constant, and these fucking dipshit assistant. When I think of these assistant principals, the rage they'd be in because they saw a fucking hat.
Yeah.
And I would have never dared put a hat on, by the way. But I did get in trouble because I drew the school. I was went to art school. I used to draw comics in the paper, and I hid all these subliminal dicks in the final paper. Do you have my thing still? Give me that shit. Where's the goddamn cop to bring justice? I hid all these dicks in the school paper cartoon, and then I bragged about it, so I got caught.
Yeah.
And this dude, Mr. Azzolini, I still remember his name. This fucking Dago lost his shit. He said, "You've disgraced yourself. You've disgraced the school." They always bring up the name of your team. Like, this is not Raider Pride. Like, I give a shit about that. And the guy, and I would be as kid scared of that shit, but he got so batshit. This is what I think about with the girl. When someone gets that heavy angry at you, it's almost so ridiculous you freeze.
Yeah. I think that's what happened to other students. They
No,
were like,
yeah.
What?
Okay, and I I just remember him saying, but I completely was like, "Oh, you don't have any fucking authority, you dipshit." And it was just because he went so overboard. And also I froze in place. Like, if he had told me to do something, I don't think I would have done it. You know what I mean? Because this guy's just losing his mind. I'm like, I didn't think I did anything that bad to... You know what I mean? And I'm sure that girl, that's what he's saying, she had her phone out for a second. And then this is some school policy that they enforced because school's all about teaching you to be a coward, basically. So I think, look, we shouldn't be body slammed, but I'm just saying, I was just wondering what the proper way is. I think you're right, first getting the kids out. And then...
she's a child. I
How
remember
old was she,
Officer-
by the way? Does anybody know?
What?
She's
What
in
grade
high
was-
school.
She's 16.
That
Oh, yeah.
situation didn't call for no students to be removed. She wasn't that unruly or anything.
Yeah, she
You
didn't
still,
have a
but
weapon.
I would move the students out because if you're disrupting my whole class, right?
She wasn't disruptive. That's not disruptive.
If I tell you go get out and go to principal office and you don't, that's my fucking if I don't have that authority of the fucking room, how am I going to control the room?
He did the right thing by calling security, but security isn't supposed to put your hands on her for that. She didn't do it.
Granted.
No,
I'm
no.
saying the thing of if there's some problem with this kid, okay, because first of all, worry about her. Cause they said she was disrupting the students' learning. It's already happening. You might as well take them out, give her the individual attention to fix it, and then bring them back. You know what I mean? I think that's a better way to do it. You both said that, right?
Well, I mean, if she lost her mother a week ago, she should have some kind of relationship with one of the guidance counselors or something rather than going to an authority
guidance
person
counselors
to
are worthless.
Well, yeah, they're worthless, but they can reach in and go, all right, come with me.
The
We're going to take 10 minutes.
None of them knew anything about her.
Hold on, someone's calling in to say I agree with Kurt. College kids don't give a fuck. We don't have time to get to you, man. But
none of the principal or the teacher, they didn't know anything about that.
Oh, they didn't know about it.
Nothing.
Well, they should maybe find out.
No one here
all
says
this came out after the fact. A student had let this all be known after the fact.
See, that's the fucked up thing. Why wouldn't the people that are adults that should care about you, maybe find that shit out?
It doesn't matter if she had 10 parents. That
If
are
the
all
students would have
helping.
read Dave's website, they would have known.
There's no debate on that. I'm just saying there's no fucking way you could allow she go, well, I'm not going. What do you go? Okay, I guess I have no power here. They can't do nothing.
They have standards and practice. They have things that they're fucking trained to do.
Security comes
I don't think
in.
they do.
Hold on. Security comes in.
Yeah.
And they remove you, but she wasn't doing anything where you would have to physically remove her like that.
Slammer and throw.
He came straight up to her and put her in the Cobra clutch. Straight up to him, put her in the Cobra clutch, then slammed her, and then slammed her back, then threw her forward.
Damn it!
Now that's why I said if that was your child and you saw that, what would you do?
I don't know if I'd attack him. That guy can slam people.
Hold on. Yes, you would. Kurt, the first thing you would say is, I'm going to kill him. That's the initial threat of any parent. I'm going to kill him.
But no, I agree. I understand your sentiment. I agree with it. We got 2 minutes left, so that was a good.
All right, I'm about to bounce out. I got to catch a cab.
All right, Shoddy, I'll see you next Wednesday.
That will take more
Gilbert
than 2 minutes.
Gottfried. All right, so we got to go. Dave, down the rabbit hole. What is
Deep
it?
Inside the Rabbit Hole. All the links are on my website. Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole is the Earth the Ball. Check it out. Ball or Skeptic.
Mango,
check it out.
Promote?
Inside Ames Humor and @Manglish on Twitter.
Okay, Caitlin?
Yeah, please download, rate, and review Crass to Mouth.
Oh, yeah, Hot 10?
Next show is at rethinkcomedy.com. Just check it out. Kurt will be in it.
Oh, yeah. And what you got, K-Boy?
Oh yeah, my grandmother turned 87 yesterday.
Yeah.
Turned 87 yesterday.
Well,
happy birthday, Nana Margaret Harrison in Trenton, New Jersey.
do they have body slamograms?
Nah, not at all.
Goldstein?
At Ange Gold on Twitter.
And Tommy, what do you got going on?
At Tommy O'Malley on Twitter.
All right, somebody's got Twitters, and happy birthday to K-Boy's grandma.
Trenton makes the world takes.
Is your grandma in Trenton? Yeah. By the way, isn't that like the most bitter message you've ever seen on a bridge? Hey, Trenton, you want to make something? Why? You're just going to take it?
We've been doing this already. I told you what I said.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me.
Good night, Philly girl.
Yeah. Oh, Philly girl.
Good night. Good
Philly
night,
girl, what do you
everybody.
got?
What? No, I'm going to go over to this bar called the Rusty Nail, but last time I was there, I got shot up, so I don't know. We'll see. It's usually beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's on? That's Race Wars. But I mean, play some Sherrod Lights. I don't know. Let's go.